2012, our finance minister, carrying a symbolic briefcase in his hand, reminded Kenya citizens that rental income is subject to tax. My question to you all today is, why should we pay tax at all? Is it to deepen the already deep pockets of our politicians? Perhaps to build posh houses, bungalows in upmarket regions? Or maybe to pay sitting allowances, healthy sitting allowances as they sit in luxurious resorts, thinking about the current scams and pondering about future scams? Ladies and gentlemen, does it make you furious when you hear about missing billions from Anglo leasing to the mysterious abuse, misuse of our well-intentioned constituency development funds? From the export of non-existent gold to all sorts of scandals like maize scandals. You would be forgiven if you were cynical about paying your taxes. As was I until a month ago when my friend Rana, a loquacious person, came here to visit. She is just one of those bubbly type of individuals, and she loves jewelry. As she was visiting me, she said to me she likes what she sees on us, you know, the African beaded jewelry, and she asked me to take her shopping. So I took her to the expected place, Maasai Market, and she fell in love. So she then said to me she would like to experiment exporting some for business. So fine, I took her to Mr. Shah, who I know very well. Mr. Shah supplies many of these dealers in Maasai Market. But he makes this jewelry, or he has a team that makes this jewelry. She picked up this wide selection of items and then asked for the bill and asked how much it would be. And Mr. Shah said, and I quote, "Will you be paying cash? If you're paying cash, you can save 16% because I won't charge you VAT." Rina looked at me quizzically, and I said, "Oh, that's normal here. Pay cash, he doesn't have to record it, and you'll save 16%, you'll get a discount." Rina said, "If that is normal, how does your government get resources to provide you services? I don't want to do that. I want to pay taxes." I found that really strange. Have you known anyone who would want to pay taxes at their expense? So I started to ask a few friends and colleagues of mine whether they like and want to pay taxes. And I don't think I was surprised when the majority of them say they pay taxes because they are forced to pay taxes. Some of them say their employers just deduct the taxes if they had a choice. For sure they wouldn't. Some even told me of creative means by which they expatriated profits. I was still perturbed at Rina, who wasn't willing to take personal gain. And so I started doing a research. And today, I truly understand why our taxes are so important. And I would like to share this with you using an analogy of our ribs. The ribs of a human being. Do you know what purpose the ribs serve our body? The ribs are there to protect vital organs like the heart and the lungs. And just as the ribs protect vital organs, our taxes are the ribs of our economy. The R is for the resources that give our government money to provide us services, be it schools, be it hospitals, be it our infrastructure. So I ask you today, are you fair in complaining and saying our country, our government is not providing us services when you, me, do everything we can to avoid and evade these taxes? It's like going to a shop and asking for a shirt but not giving the money for the shirt. It's the same principle. The I in the rib stands for integrity. As a Kenyan citizen, it is your duty to be true. But apart from integrity, there is such a thing called equitable tax integrity. By that, it means The more you earn, the more you pay. The less you earn, the less you pay. So, when you deprive your government of tax, or when you refuse to pay or evade tax, what happens is you're not only being untrue to the government, you're being untrue to your fellow colleagues. You and I complain that the gaps are so inequitable. There's such wide gaps between the rich and the poor. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. But ultimately, those who are avoiding or evading are normally the richer. And I ask you today, are you doing your bit to narrow this widening gap of inequality before we complain? So that's the R, the resources, the I, the integrity, and the B, the blood of our economy. Taxes are the lifeblood of our economy. The government needs to be in the business of providing us services. But if we avoid taxes, if we evade taxes, how do they give us quality service? Because like any product, quality service comes at a price. So we do not want the government to venture into private business. Let them leave private business for entrepreneurs and corporates and let them concentrate on the business which is to serve you. And you might all be saying this is all very well, but I promise you, if every single one of us, including our ministers, paid our taxes promptly and timely, we would also consider it our dutiful obligation to make these ministers accountable. And it slowly falls in place. But going back to rent, this is not a new phenomenon. Rental income has been, is, and will always be subject to income tax because that is another income. So it is nothing new. But Kenyans are concerned that this will increase the prices of rents. I understand this concern and I acknowledge it. But I have to say that unless every single landlord is unscrupulous, and I sincerely hope this is not the case, the price of any commodity is determined by factors affecting supply and demand. So really, why should any tenant pay more for a place if they can get a similar place for less? Unless, of course, all the landlords were avoiding and then want tax and wanting the same income. But regardless, I say that Kenya is greater than every single individual is. And I ask you today, are you going to try and get personal gain by avoiding taxes? Or are you going to be like my friend Rana, who realized that she cannot benefit personally if the greater economy suffers? So ladies and gentlemen, I call upon you today, do not deprive our government, our economy of its ribs. Mobilize resources for our government to provide its services. Maintain your integrity. Give the economy its lifeblood and let it do its business, which is to serve you.